There are moments in life when you feel like something inside you is broken, tired for no clear reason. Everything feels out of place, and you blame yourself for things you don't even understand. But sometimes, people don't fall apart because of something big. They're just slightly out of alignment. Life doesn't pause because you're a failure. It pauses because something small inside you needs to be set back in the right place. And the story you're about to hear is for anyone who feels out of rhythm, out of direction, or simply in need of a place to breathe. Stay until the end. You might just find yourself in it. In a narrow alley that people rarely entered, the air on rainy days carried a thin mist, blending with the scent of wet leaves and damp earth, a smell that was both cold and strangely comforting. At the end of that alley stood an old watch shop. Its signboard had faded over the years, the wooden frame showing tiny cracks. Yet the warm yellow light inside was always on, as if quietly keeping time from slipping too fast. Inside the shop worked an old watchmaker named Elden, who had repaired watches for more than 40 years. He spoke little, but his hands told stories. Steady, slow, deliberate, as though he communicated with time itself in a language only he understood. One gloomy afternoon, a cold wind slipped through the gaps of the wooden door, making it tremble softly. Outside, the rain wasn't heavy, but persistent, forming long droplets that slid down the fogged window. A young man stepped inside, carrying with him the chill of the rain and the earthy scent clinging to his jacket. In his hand was a leather-strapped watch that had stopped working. The glass was scratched, the hour hand frozen as if trapped in the moment it hit the ground. He placed it on the wooden counter, speaking with a heavy voice. "I dropped it. It's probably broken. I always break everything." Elden didn't respond. He simply nodded gently, opened the back of the watch, and let the warm yellow light shine onto the tiny gears inside, making them glimmer like raindrops resting on leaves. The shop was silent, only the soft hiss of the wind outside and the steady ticking of the wall clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. After a while, Elden finally spoke. "It isn't your fault." The young man looked up, startled. "But I dropped it." He pointed to a small gear in the center. "It didn't break because of the fall. It's just a little misaligned." He spoke slowly, as if every word had to pass through his heart before reaching the air. "You know, people are a lot like watches." He turned a tiny screw. The tick-tock returned, shaky at first, then steady, like raindrops falling on a tin roof. There are moments when your life comes to a stop, not because you're bad, not because you're weak, not because you ruin things, but simply because a very small rhythm inside you has shifted. Elden lifted his eyes, and in that warm yellow light, they seemed almost luminous. A watch needs to stop so it can be adjusted. People do too. He smiled gently. "You're not broken. You're not useless. You're just a little out of alignment." The young man looked at the watch ticking again in his palm, and felt as though a small part of himself had been repaired as well. He stepped outside. The evening wind was still cold, the scent of rain and earth still lingered in the air, but his heart was no longer as heavy as when he arrived. The watch ticked steadily, and for the first time in months, he felt he could move forward again. Life doesn't always move smoothly. There will be days when you feel stuck, like a watch whose hands refuse to move in the cold rain. But stopping doesn't mean you're broken. Being still doesn't mean you've failed. And feeling tired doesn't mean you're weak. Sometimes you're just a little out of rhythm. A quiet sadness, an invisible pressure, a long day that made your breath heavier, or an old wound you thought had healed. And just like that watch, you don't need to replace your whole life. All you need is a small adjustment, a pause, a deep breath, a moment of kindness toward yourself. Then you'll start again, steadier, stronger, softer. You're not useless. You're just a little out of alignment. And correcting that small shift is enough to make your whole life move again.